right, welcome back. We're going to create the tabs here and the holes and then the center kind of piece in this video. First thing I'm going to do is rotate it back around to the backside view, and I'm going to create a sketch on this outside edge again, or face I should say. Excuse me. And I need to just extrude, well, not yet. I'm going to create the lines for this inside part. I'll show you how to do this. So I'm going to create a line from the center out to the outside edge. And basically what we're going to do, instead of making a sketch on this face, which is curved, and I can't make a sketch on a curved face, we're going to create the sketch here and then just do like two little lines here, and we're going to extrude this up this way. So I'm going to do one line there and another line on the other side of that arm. And I'm going to repeat that on this one. Now some of this isn't necessary. Like, I like to make things symmetric and nice looking. So some of the work we do right now is just to make it look kind of nice. So again, to the outside circle, so from the center of the circle to the very outside circle. And what I found was a 20-degree angle between these two lines makes a really nice sized tab. But I also want it to be centered on this arm, because if I line up the screw and the arm, it makes everything stronger, just kind of reinforces each other. So what I want to do is create a sketch line, and I'm going to drag that sketch line down the middle-ish of the arm out to that outside one, and I created it as a construction line. Notice I didn't get exactly in the middle. I'll make it perfectly in the middle in just a second. I just want to get them in place right now. And this one is actually exactly in the middle because it's vertical, and these other two are vertical as well. So to make it right in the middle, all I need to do is make this line I drew parallel to one of the sides. So I grab my parallel tool, click on the line I drew, and then click on either of the two sides. The line I drew and either of the two sides, and now those are perfectly centered. So to get a 20-degree angle between these two lines, I'm going to do a 10-degree angle between the outer line and the middle, and then another one from here to here. So D for dimensioning, click on the blue line and then the center line, and click again to place the measurement, hit 10, and do the same thing on the other one. Click, click, click one more time to place the measurement somewhere, and 10, enter. And do that for all three arms. Awesome, those are in. Now that's segmented up this outside ring, so I'm ready to extrude. So E for extrude. This part here is the tab I'm going to pull, this one and this one. I'm going to tip it so I can see what's going on, and maybe go flip it to the back side so I can see, and then pull this out 10 millimeters. Looks great. Then join is set, so I'm going to click OK. Awesome. Now I need to cut a hole in these three. So on this, what I'm going to do is actually cut a hole in just one of them, and then use the circle pattern tool to pattern the hole to the other two of them. Now I can't actually create a sketch. I can't actually create a sketch on this surface because it's curved, and you can't create a sketch on a curve. You're going to create it on a flat. So if you want to have a sketch on a curved surface, you have to first create what's called a construction plane. So here I'm going to do tangent plane, which creates a flat surface on a curve, touching it in that one point. So click on tangent plane, and we're going to click on the curve we want to create it on, which is that outside curve. And I'm just going to make sure that it's lined up correctly. So if I zoom in here, we can see, yep, this tangent, this orange line, is right in the middle of this. So I'm going to click OK, and then tip it back so I can see it. Now I've got something I can create a sketch on. So I'm going to click here, create a sketch. Zoom in on it. Now I want to create the circle right in the middle of this sort of curved rectangle, but I can't click on the edges. Let's see if I can do it actually. I'm going to create a line and a construction line, go up to the edge. I can't actually click on the edge of that square because it's not on my sketch. So before I can do that, I'm going to hit P for project, come over here and say, okay, project that corner of that rectangle that's down below the sketch, project it up onto the sketch for me. And then I want to do this corner as well, and click OK. I could have done the lines as well. I just don't need them. I just really need this corner and that corner. And now I'm going to create a construction line that goes from that purple point to that purple point. Escape. I now know the center of this line is the center of the rectangle. So I'm going to grab, whoops. I'm going to grab, oh, I somehow left my, oh, there it is, sketch. Yep. I'm going to grab my circle, go here to the midpoint, click, and I want to have non-construction line, and a 3mm hole is just the right size to let the screw go right through. I'm going to E for extrude, flip it over so I can see the back face, and then click distance to object and extrude it to that surface. And then I'm going to click OK. I also, though, I want to cut a hole into the housing as well. So let's do that real quick. So I'm going to bring my sketch back online. So I'm going to come to my sketch folder. The last sketch here is this sketch. So I'm going to put it viewable again so I can see it. And then I'm going to edit that sketch, which is right here in my timeline. So I'm back in my sketch. And now I'm going to create a smaller hole of 1.5mm. And I'm going to use this smaller circle to cut the hole in the housing. And I want it to be smaller because I want the screw threads to grab that plastic and dig into it. Whereas it's going to fully clear the 3mm one. All right, and now I'm going to actually hide the propeller cage and do an extrusion of this little hole only. And I'm going to extrude that, roll it around so I can, let me zoom out a little bit, it's getting a little hard to see what's going on. Roll it around, and I'm going to tell it to extrude to the inside surface. And click OK. And now I just cut that hole in the propeller housing as well. So I'm going to turn off that last sketch that I had on. And I'm going to turn the propeller cage back on. And if I look at it from this sort of bottom view, I can see there's a large hole through the propeller cage and a small hole through the housing. All right, next thing I want to do is I want to take these holes and spread them throughout. So do the other two really quickly. So I'm going to first do a create pattern, circular pattern. I'm going to zoom in to where I can see the inside of that hole that's in the cage, and see if I can zoom in and grab the inside of the hole in that one as well. Maybe they'll work together. I've done this before, so we'll see. So I've got, whoops, I've got those two objects selected, and it's going to ask me for an axis. What am I rotating it around? Well, if I look from the front, I want to rotate those holes around this axis, so I want the green line there. Click on the green line, and it will rotate them around, hopefully cutting them just right. And here, if it didn't select correctly, make sure you're selecting features and not bodies. And then, yeah, click OK, and let's see if it cuts it. Oh, and it did. It cut it in the outside cage and in the housing. So that looks fantastic. So I'm going to hide the propeller cage real quick. Yep, I see the 3 holes in the housing. Hide the housing. And now I just need to do some roundovers, some fillets. So I'm going to grab my fillet tool. And I'm going to round over all these hard edges. Whoops, not that one. All these little corners inside here. This one here. That one. And then if you can't see an edge, but you know it's like right there, if you hold down the left click, it'll show you everything underneath your pointer, and you can select it from the list. Or you can just rotate the model around so you can see it clearly and click on it as well. So here, here, and here. I know that edge is down there. I can hold my left mouse, and I didn't get it, so maybe I'm just going to rotate this one around until I can see that corner I want to grab, just like that edge I want to grab. All right, I'm going to rotate back around the front. Maybe look at the back view here, and then pull this so that it looks nice. Ooh, that's way too much. I like in that like 5mm range. That looks pretty good. Awesome. Now that's done. Now the last thing we need to do is these arms where they come in as this sharp corner here and here, these are going to be really easy to break. So we need to round over those corners as well. So I'm going to grab my fillet tool, flip it over, and highlight all of these edges that I can find. Okay. In the end, there should be 4 edges for every arm, so for a total of 12 edges is what I'm looking to end up with in the end. I'm at 10, so I'm still missing 2. There's 1. Oh, I see the other one right there. Awesome. And now I'm going to pull them. I like that. Looks pretty good. I'm going to click OK. That's maybe a little big, but that's okay. And turn the housing on, see what it looks like. All right, we've got one more thing to do, which is on this back side. Let me hide the housing. On this back side here, we want to extend this middle circle down so that we can cut sort of a cone-shaped hole in it so it can really catch that propeller if it does come off. And we'll do that in our next video.